let's talk about assessing and then mitigating rockfall danger in the alpine. Hello, I'm Jason. As the rock climbing joke goes, why stay close to home and climb stable, solid rock when you can hike for miles to climb loose, chossy rock? But for those of us that like the wildness or the sense of exploration or whatever it is, rockfall is often part of our reality. So today we are going to talk about the introductory basics of both assessing rockfall danger and mitigation tactics we can use to help reduce our risk. As far as assessment goes, I think of three lenses, if you will, going from zoomed out to zoomed in. With the macro zoomed out lens, do I see evidence of previous rockfall? Funnel shapes with piles of stone are often created by avalanches, but those same avalanche chutes also funnel dry season rocks. Or I might see a scattering of stones that suggests more intermittent falls and stones getting tossed from the cliffs above. With the mid-range lens, I am looking within the route itself for cracks in the rock formations and potentially unstable blocks that aren't firmly attached. With the micro lens, I am down to individual hand and footholds. Is weighting this or that hold likely to dislodge the hold? Is there debris on that hold that could not only make me slip, but could also be scattered as I try to move? And across all three of these lenses, I am looking for fall lines. Basically, if I imagined water running down the slope, where would it go? This is how the rocks will move, at least in aggregate, too. Having made my assessments, which are constantly redone as I move up or down a route, I can now start taking steps to reduce the probability of my body being hit by a rock. Of course, we start with wearing a climbing-rated helmet. These are specifically designed to reduce the impact forces from falling objects, as opposed to, say, some bicycle helmets, which are designed to reduce impact forces of our head hitting the ground or the like. As we move, we want to test those holds, back to that micro lens, and not pull on or step on any hold until we are certain it will hold us. In a similar vein, if we are climbing while roped up, we want to minimize the rope dragging over terrain and having the rope knock stones loose. This is part of why climbers often use no rope or very short rope distances between climbers on moderate but loose terrain. Knowing how to quickly add or subtract rope coils from a kiwi coil or variant coiling method is very practical in these situations, and we have a short video on one coiling method. And back to those fall lines. We want to try our best to stay out of them, so we will often choose to skirt the edge, hugging one wall or the other, even if the climbing is more difficult there. By moving up on one side, we have dramatically reduced the likelihood of stones from the other side reaching us, and we have cut down the number of stones that are above us on our chosen side of travel. In a similar way, we also want to avoid climbing directly under one another in case the leading partner knocks something loose. This is particularly important on switchbacks. We don't want the top climbers to cut back above the trailing climbers. Sometimes we cannot avoid being under our partner, though. In that case, we want to climb as close as we can to each other so that a dislodged rock doesn't have time to accelerate before hitting us. Unless we are also worried about the higher climber falling, in which case being too close could mean having them fall into us. So we have another option. We could spread out and travel in turns. One person moves from a safe zone to another safe zone out of the fall line. Then the next climber moves from zone to zone, and so on. This is slower because we aren't all climbing at the same time, but it is a stronger mitigation strategy, especially when we concede that the rock is so bad that knocking rocks down is inevitable. And after all of this risk mitigation, if we do dislodge a rock or see or hear one coming from above, it is our duty to all our fellow climbers to call out, "Rock!
Rock! Rock!"
If we hear this signal, we want to make ourselves as small as possible. Rocks bounce, they don't flow. They actually spend most of their fall time in the air. So we want to press ourselves into the surface where the falling rocks spend the least amount of time. We want to get as much of our body under the protective crown of our helmet as possible. So we don't face up and we don't look down, exposing the back of our heads. If the stance allows it, we can also bring our arms in and our shoulders up to our ears, which both makes us less wide and brings our pack up to shield some of our neck. And here we stay until sound, or lack thereof, tells us things might be clear. then it is definitely prudent to do another macro, mid-range, and micro assessment. Have you experienced significant rockfall on any of your climbs? If you are comfortable telling us that story, let us know about it in the comments. Thanks for watching this video. Please like, subscribe, and share if you want to support us. For more information, you can go to our website at www.shortguysbetaworks.com. If you like this video, you can watch a similar one that introduces some of the basic concepts of avalanche education while providing multiple resources to seek more detailed instruction, or you can check out our entire rock climbing safety series. We'll see you next week and keep on getting more out of that big outside.